Hey folks, over the last week and a half, we've been studying two texts related to the civil rights movement. The first, an excerpt from the graphic novel March, and the second, a poem from the novel in verse Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson. We've also studied the literary concept of conflict and how it's presented in those two texts. Now it's time to have a class discussion where we discuss civil rights, those two texts, and conflict in literature. As always, we'll be using a Jamboard to centralize our thinking. There are 6 slides in this deck, but only 3 of them require action. As you can see on the second slide, there is an instruction guide that shows you what you need to do. But it's quite simple. On each slide, you'll have a prompt or a sentence starter, and your job is to contribute your thinking with a sticky note like this, making sure to include your initials and the class period at the end so that I can give you credit for your response. Let's take a look at an example here. When I think of civil rights, I think. Well, when I think of civil rights, I think a lot of things. But one of the things that comes to mind is the fact that I'm so glad we're at a place in society where we can elect an African American president, and at any station of government, we can see equality in leadership. So that's something that I think about. So I'm going to write, when I think of civil rights, I think of how far we have come to have an elected African American president or vice president. It was not long ago that the events of these texts took place. We have come a long way. I'm going to put my initials in the hour, the end. And I'm going to hit save. And as you can see, my thinking is now on the board. I can place it anywhere I want. You have 3 slides to respond to. And these 3 slides will be the focus of our discussion. If you have any questions, see me in class, but otherwise, let's prepare for our class discussion.